Hey, good morning. I want to pick up where I left off yesterday with King David, and we see him start going to, and he really where I want to start is in 1 Samuel 17, and Jessie, David's dad, was concerned. He had 8 sons, and 3 of them were at the battlefield. And so Jessie told David, hey, I want to know, they didn't have Fox News or CNN or the local news. So they had to send messengers. And so since he had a younger son, Jessie just said, hey, grab some of this food, go up there and give it to the captain, the boys' captains, and bring me back word what's going on. And so David was just doing what his dad told him to do. David grabbed the stuff and went to the battlefield. And when he got there, he handed the supplies to the supply tent and the person in charge of that, and then he heard Goliath. And Goliath he came out and was cussing the armies of the living God. And so David said, what is this? And so he started walking around, and they started going to the battle. They were lining up, or they had already lined up, and David's like, what's this going on? And so someone told him, hey, this is what's going to happen to whoever kills this champion. Well, God had a champion. David didn't know it was him. God knows the end from the beginning. And remember yesterday I said there's no such word as coincidence. So God, for 40 days this guy's been cussing God's army. So I guess God just got tired of it, or he knew David. He knew David, and I'm just using a little bit of room here to tell the story. But he just told David. I mean, he didn't tell David. He had Jessie send David up there, and then he knew that if he put David in that situation, that based on what David had done in his heart, David wouldn't stand for that. And so, as expected, David heard it. And then he turned to someone, and someone said, yeah, and if you do this, you're going to get riches, you're going to get the king's daughter, and you're going to have no taxes. Your father's house won't have any taxes. And he said, what? And so he asked somebody else. Same thing. Riches, daughter, no taxes. And so right about the time, the second guy had said it, one of David's brothers, the oldest, kind of come and said, what are you doing here? What did you do with those few sheep out in the wilderness? You just came here to see the battle. Older brother to the younger little punk brother. So what are you just here? I mean, what are you doing here? And so, David just answers, what have I done? I'm just here because Dad told me to be here. And then he said, isn't there a cause? I mean, somebody needs to do something, is the way I hear it. And so David asked one more person. He gets it 3 times. And, the third time's the charm, right? So he hears the same reward 3 times. And so David's mind's made up. David's going to take care of business. So tomorrow we're going to find out, you know the story, but we're going to find out kind of my take on it and just what I see. Something that you may not have picked up on, and something you probably did. But anyway, I just want to give you my quick little take on David and Goliath, the battle. But I wanted to get you the events leading up to that, because, David was just doing his job. David didn't go out to set out to kill the Goliath. That was God's plan. God wanted Goliath done. And he sent his champion, because, Goliath was screaming for the people of Israel. If you read back a little bit, he said, I'll be the Philistines' champion, you bring a champion, and whoever wins, the other person will be the slave. So God said, I'll take that bet, or I'll take that challenge, and I'll send my champion. No one knew David was God's champion. David was just going to deliver some food. So obviously God didn't tell David, hey, I'm going to have you go up there and kill Goliath. So, David didn't even know about Goliath. So as you're walking through life today, you're going to have some challenges. Maybe sometimes you're going to have some battles. And you may just walk right in the middle of one. But I want to give you some encouragement that God knows right where you are, and there's some things that you can do beforehand. And you'll find it in Romans 12:1, where Paul says, I beseech you, brethren, by the mercies of God, to present yourselves a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable, which is your reasonable service. And we'll talk about that in different things, but I just wanted to give you that text. And James 4:7 says, submit yourself to God, resist the devil, and he will flee. So part of it, I hear people say, well, you just got to resist the devil and he'll flee. Well, that's not exactly what James 4:7 says. He said, submit yourself to God, resist the devil, and he'll flee. So there's a submission. There's you heard about dying daily. There's things that you must do in order to have power against evil. And David obviously had already done that. And David, was a man after God's own heart. So David probably daily or hourly or whatever was worshiping God and submitted to God. So David was in the perfect position to take care of business. So if you want to be in a perfect position, I want to encourage you to submit yourself to God today. Just tell him, that you're his. Present yourself. I crawl up. I've got 5 prayers that I'm going to try to figure out how to get to you with all this technology. But I've got 5 prayers that I do every day, and it's 5 prayers to destroy fear and increase power. And one of those things is, one of those prayers, the second prayer is presenting myself as a living sacrifice. So, and it says it's my reasonable service. So, we're supposed to do that daily. But anyway, that's enough for today. I appreciate you stopping by, and I hope this helped. Have a great day.